At the rest, Jerry, I no do any school work today. I
Yeah.
no even go work sef.
Wow.
Let me see. I hope it's live now. Let me check. Just trying to check.
I think it is.
No, I'm checking from my end if it's on now. That's from YouTube proper, sha. That's what I'm checking.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's live now. Yep. Let me share the link. Yeah, I think it's live now. Yep.
Okay, I think there's like few seconds delay on it or something.
I think it's live now. Yep.
Okay, I think there's like few seconds delay on it or something.
I think it's live now. Yep.
Okay, I think there's like few seconds delay on it or something.
I think it's live now. Yep.
I think there's like few seconds delay on it or something.
I think it's live now. Yep.
I think there's like few seconds delay on it or something.
I think it's live now. Yep.
I think there's like few seconds delay on it or something. Why is it repeating like that?
I don't even know. I'm just trying to check comments. I think we're good. Let me check. It's working now. Let me just post this. Let me check. It's working now. Let me just post this. Let me check. So maybe we just wait for like 5 minutes before we'll go ahead. Close. Coffee. like 2 more minutes, Abi.
No problem.
All right. Let me. All right, I think we can just kick off. People can join us later. If not, they
Okay.
can watch the recording. That's still okay.
Okay, no problem.
Yep. So, good evening, everyone. If you're watching, so tonight we're having a chat with a digital implementation officer by name Shittu. So I'll leave him to do the introduction himself. So, Mr. Shittu, can we meet you?
Yeah. Good evening. Nice to be here. My name is Shittu. Let me just go straight to my background generally.
Okay.
I work as a digital implementation officer in in an hospital in a health board. So I my background generally, I studied computer science for my first degree,
Okay.
but I didn't really practice in that line. So I used to work in the medical diagnostic field as a business development personnel.
Okay.
Although I've worked in some different capacity along the line as a ERP specialist then, but majorly for like 7 years before I decided to go for my postgraduate studies, I used to work as a business development person in the medical diagnostic field. So I just decided like, okay, when I decided to pursue my postgraduate, I was like, I actually still wanted to make use of my first degree, which is computer science. So I was looking for a way to marry my work experience working in a medical field. Although I wasn't a clinician, but I understand how the settings look like. So I just said like, okay, why not marry the two together? So I now started searching for courses that I can do that can enhance my my job prospects generally. So I came across health data science, health informatics as a course. So while going deep, like trying to understand what it entails, what are the pros and cons of being an health informatician, I actually liked what I saw. So that was what informed my decision. Like, fine, health informatics basically is IT and health. Just a brief summary of health informatics is my health and IT. So I now decided, okay, let me just go ahead and do that. And it has been a wonderful experience for me.
I can imagine. So a lot of persons ask, is health informatics hard? Is it really hard?
Well, from my experience, health informatics is not hard. Is one of the is a very easy course to study. And from my experience working as an health informatician, it has been a great exposure, because for me, like someone that didn't study anything clinical for maybe for undergraduate or first degree of
Yeah.
before now, it's it exposed me. Like I really see the other side of things. Like, okay, this is how clinicians do their thing. And me as an IT person, like as I studied IT, and I was like, okay, it's actually interesting. It's very easy. I won't say it's hard. It's very easy. If you are a determined person, like this is what you really want to do, it is not hard
So it's not hard at all.
at all. At all. It's not hard. The name might suggest like health informatics. People might think health informatics is hard, but it's not hard. It's not
Wait,
hard.
that's very interesting to hear. So one of the reasons why I even decided to host this session is because a lot of persons keep asking me what are the job prospects with health informatics, and can I find work, where will I work, and all of that. And most times I'm like, yes, there are a lot of opportunities for people with a health informatics degree, really, and it's not like maybe health data science where you do a lot of coding and all of that. So I was now like, okay, maybe I should even look for people who are already doing something in that space with their degree, so that people can, I mean, you hear from the horse's mouth, okay, to show that there are actually opportunities out there. And so, coming to your role as a digital implementation officer, so what was your job like? What do you basically do? Implementation officer. So,
Yeah.
what was
So
your job like? What do you...
okay. So basically, my role is like, let me say I'm like a middleman between clinicians and those that design digital health products, because I understand what clinicians want, what they feel like, okay, this is how their workflow is. So from gathering what their workflow is, I relate with those that design the product, like, okay, this is what it is in demand. And on the other side, one of my main role is to understand the product, the digital product, like understand what it entails, what it is generally all about, and translate it to the clinicians. Like, okay, this is a new product we just designed for you people. This is what it is all about, making them understand, like, okay, this is a product, more like you tend to work with product specialists. You understand what they are designing, what they have designed, understand the product, like, okay, but if it is an EMR system, if it is a portal, digital portal, or any product, because I've come to realize that healthcare has presently has a lot of untapped products that are not even being implemented in several hospitals across, that will actually benefit clinicians generally. So one of my role is understanding the clinician's perspective, understanding the letting the product designers, the product specialists. I work too as a product specialist, because a product specialist, you have to understand what the product is all about. Make Okay, this is what is in demand, and make those that will design the product understand what they need to do. Then I support clinicians, like I train them, like, okay, this is how the product is all about. I provide product support and training for them, like, okay, if they have any issues, like they don't really know, because to be honest, I've realized that clinicians, when they are in the heat of the moment, if they are working, they tend to just forget about, like, they have a product, like they just want to they want to focus more on their patient, like this is my patient. I can't be wasting time. So you need to let them understand the product in total 100% so that it won't actually delay their work, because it will drag their work. So another thing is my role is to support software testing. So if you want to implement a new product, I make sure I test run it, like to see if there are no no lapses in it. If there are no, because health is a big business, and in healthcare, a lot of data are being generated, and if one is not careful, you can actually run into issue, and you need to make sure that your data are well guarded. So you need to understand that the product actually fits into what they want to do. And there is the aspect of information governance too, like that was why I said a lot of data are being generated. So you need to govern all the data being generated in such a way, like if a product is being designed, the kind of access you give a consultant would differ from the kind of access maybe a nurse or a pharmacy will have, because they have different roles. So their roles will determine their level of access too.
Okay.
So you need to understand the different roles they have, their level of how do I put it? The level of access they need to have. So it actually entails a whole lot of things, and there are several roles you can actually fit into as an informatician.
That's quite interesting. I mean, you've covered so many things you actually do in your day-to-day activities, and they're even looking like individual jobs on their own. But I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
mention the product testing, software testing, training doctors, supporting doctors. That sounds a lot, really. So that's quite fine. Then looking at so a lot of people worry about I mean, what skills can they use to move into a job like this? Basically, okay, I'm new to this area and I'm afraid, or I mean, how do I get in? What kind of soft skill do I need to be able to fit in properly into a team like where you're working?
Okay. Basically, as an health informatician, let me just say, like, it's always structured in such a way, like a project management kind of thing. Like, you know, you have a product, like a product is being designed now. If you want, it depends on the area you want to actually key into, because some of, like, okay, let me pick it from here. Like,
Okay.
as an health informatician, you can actually decide to be a product specialist.
Okay.
Like, okay, you understand what kind of products, digital product is required, like how to design the product and the likes. You can actually be on the project management level. Like, my role now is basically under project management, because implementing is a phase under project management, and
Yeah.
basically it's still under project management. So project management, then um, information governance, like I mentioned too, is another role that one can actually fit in. Understanding all the laws that are required, because I've come to realize that there are several laws that govern healthcare, and the some things that are easily applicable under IT might not really go well when it comes to healthcare. So you need
Okay.
to actually understand, like, information governance is a big deal. Like you can't just share someone's, if you having an access to a database of health records of people doesn't mean you have the right to for you to go through it or this. So you need to understand like there is information governance on that. So basically, the skills required is for someone to be in to work as a digital implementation officer. You need to have a knowledge of project management, like what are the
Okay.
phases of project management. You have to understand, okay, if you are in the implementation phase, what are required of you. The another one is knowledge management. Knowledge management is another skills. I actually wrote some things down. Knowledge
Okay.
management, then communication skills, because
Okay.
you do a lot of communication. You need to communicate with clinicians, going back and forth, understanding their workflow, how their workflow is like. So you need to have a very great communication skills, knowledge management, then people management. I think it's a great skill that one needs to acquire, because it's actually not easy managing people, because they already have they have the way they do their thing, and you are trying to bring a product in, so you are actually trying to move them from the way they do their thing to a totally different. So you might actually need to have a very, because people generally are not so they don't really accept change easily. So you need to have to know how to manage people, then understand like change management, what you need to do when you are trying to put changes in place, because it's not easy. Like, okay, let me just give you a brief summary. Like one of the where I work,
Yeah.
there is a there's how they do there is a portal they use to work. So the portal has several features on it. So let me just pick one of the features now, like test requesting. If they have a patient now that needs to, maybe as a clinician, you need to make a request. One of the products there is you can just open the portal. You've assessed the patient already. Just book the book the patient for whatever test you want the patient to do, and you print out a form, not like a form, like when the phlebotomist or the person that wants to bleed the patient, you just pass it across to them. So they'll just pick the sticker. When they bleed the patient, they just put it on the bottle and send directly to the laboratory. So that system now was designed in such a way that it makes work easier and faster. There is,
Okay.
if another, maybe I as a clinician already attended to the maybe a clinician reviewed the patient, already requested for the test. If another clinician is coming over to maybe check on the patient too, you don't need to, you would already see that this has been requested, and when the result is ready, the lab will automatically update it on the portal. So it makes the workflow very easy. Like at at any point in time where you are, when the test result is ready, you can just view it on the portal, and you know your next line of action. But because they already have a way of doing it before, like paper requests, they just pick a paper, write the tests, pass it on, and the like. So they are already used to the paper way of making requests. So for you to now change their perception, like, no, this is actually a easy way for you to make the request. It would always, so that is where your people management skills, because though they will tell you, no, 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 it's easier for me to do this. No, I've forgotten. So you need to have the how to manage people generally, like, because people generally they don't like change.
Yeah.
They don't like change. So those are some of the skills that are required. And Okay, another one is product specialist and product management. So, if you want to really focus on product specialist, you need to understand what product specialist is all about. What do they do? How is their process like? Okay, how do you need to understand? Okay, this product I want to design. What do I will it fit in? Will it fit for purpose? Will it go along the line of those that want to use it? So a whole lot of skills are actually required anyway for it.
Well, it doesn't sound as if I need to have all of these at the same time
No,
before.
no, no. That was why I said it depends on the area you want to specialize on.
Okay,
It depends on
okay,
the area you want to specialize on.
okay, that's fine. Then, in terms of job application, how easy is it to get jobs like this?
Well, one thing I've realized is there are a whole lot of adverts for people that study health informatics generally, even health data science too. But
Okay,
one of the because I mentioned earlier that most of all this still falls under project management generally
yeah, you said
because
so.
yeah, because if you want to really everything is always structured in form of a project. So they believe you need to have a project management skills, a project management certification. So some do require you have some of these project management certification courses like Prince 2 or Agile, just for you so that they can know that you understand the project management
Okay.
processes generally. But it's there are jobs. I don't want to actually discourage people like because you might actually not you might feel like you are not getting if you are trying to apply for the kind of the environment I am presently, you need to they tend to they want to be sure that you actually have the experience, like you have the experience, you have the skills. So you having a degree in that alone might not be sufficient, but
Okay.
an advantage. Like you can't compare someone that has a like a someone that has a degree, a master's degree now in health informatics would have an upper hand, but that alone might not suffice for you. You might still need to have like all this project management certification. The skills, soft skills are prioritized than degree in some instances. They want to test your knowledge. Like, do you really understand what, because you are dealing with people, do you really understand what you are? So generally, it varies and it's 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 a let me just give it 60-70% so that you understand.
Yeah. So let's leave it like that. We just the take home message is that there are a lot of opportunities for people. The jobs are there, they are available, and yes, if you're able to like probably meet the criteria or whatever they used to screen, you will definitely get the
Job,
job. Abby.
exactly.
Okay, that's fine. Then, like when you were talking, I thought the project management. So, do you need a formal certification for that, or it's something you can just anyhow?
In most cases, you need a. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
In most cases, you need to have um excuse me. Okay, you need to have the skills required. Like they want to know, like, have you that was why that is where having a full knowledge of project management comes into play
Mm-hmm.
because there are processes like I believe most people now value like experience, like they want to know like, okay, have you really, if that, because if I am being honest with you, there are like one of the major issues or challenges that you might face in the job is staff resistance. So,
Yeah.
do you have what it takes when you are faced with that kind of challenges? They want to know, like, are you up to the task? Like, can you manage it in such a way that both parties would be happy with at the end of the day? And do you understand what it entails? And another thing is, having you don't really need to have full IT skills like that. You just need to understand the basic IT skills. Like, okay, it depends on the kind of role actually. But for me, like, okay, now you need to understand, okay, some of the how you link a print, not how how you resolve basic technical issues.
Yeah.
Maybe you're trying to connect your software now to maybe you want to generate something, you need to print it. Maybe the printer is giving you issue. Just all those basic IT skills, and there are skills you can actually learn on the job.
On the job, right?
There are skills you can actually learn on the job, but to get in might actually be the main focus. Like, you need to have a full understanding of because that is what they want to know, that you are actually capable, because you want to manage people. You are dealing in the health sector. Health is
Yeah.
health is very important. You won't want to maybe delay a process now.
Okay,
So
that's nice.
it.
Okay, there is a question in the chat there. Global Man is saying, how can one apply for the project management soft skills certification?
Well, there are several. Don't let me say several. There are project management certifications you can actually do online. I think there's PMP, there is Prince Two, there is Agile, there is Scrum Master.
Okay.
There is Scrum Master. So one can actually, if you go online, there are several organizations, several bodies that offer all those trainings and
Certification.
certifications. So one can just subscribe to any of them. You check their curriculum and see that it actually fits into what you actually like. Like, okay, what am I going to gain? What is required? And you'll be fine from there.
Okay, so Global Man, I guess you heard that. So there is a lot of different project management certifications out there. So basically, it's just to understand what it is you're looking for, then look for the relevant one, and you go and apply. So yes, I hope that answers your question. If that's fine, you can drop a yes in the chat so that I'll know your question has been answered. I think there are a lot more viewers coming in. So if you're just joining, we're talking with Shittu, who is a digital implementation officer. So he's just taking us through the journey, uh, what his day-to-day job looks like, the skills one needs to come into the role as a digital implementation officer. So basically, this is just one part of the series where we're trying to cover the job roles people can get, especially if you're coming from the healthcare space, you're looking to, become a tech bro or texas, and you don't want to code, you don't want to write the Python or Java. So this is one of those jobs that you can do, digital implementation officer, and it's exciting, it's varied. So I think every day comes with its own unique challenges too. right? So because Shitu mentioned software testing, supporting doctors, training doctors, a little bit of change management. So it's basically a whole lot to handle, right? So let me see. I thought I saw something else in the chat box. Okay, no, it's not in there. Fadlat, I hope I got that right. If you're still here, I don't know if you have a question to ask, you could just drop it in the chat so that Shitu can gladly answer them for you. He's the expert, so he answered that. Let me see if there are any other questions. Let me refresh this. Okay, I can't see any more questions. So, what do you have to say to those who are planning to get into health informatics, or what's your word of advice to them?
Okay. I would say like health informatics is an interesting field. Like it's very interesting. It's not that hard. It's not hard. And you just need to understand, like basically you understand what is required from the clinical perspective and trying to prefer solution to their workflow, like profiling digital solution, digital health products to just to enhance their workflow. Basically, you are just there to understand from both ends and to whatever product you decide to create, you can actually understand, you can actually put that there for them. And I would say, sorry, just a second. Yeah, when searching for jobs, you might actually not really find digital implementation officer
Okay.
as, because I think different organization has their has different they
Title.
would title, job title. Yeah, so you might just go through the job description to understand better, because some title might look very bogus and you might feel, ah, no, I'm not qualified for this. So it's until you go through the job description and person specification, you understand better. Because if you just say, okay, at this title, I don't think I fit in. So you actually need to, some title might just be project officer, but the requirements would still be the same as someone like a digital implementation officer, because basically the way everything is structured is like you are implementing one project or the other, you are supporting a project, or you are planning a project, a digital health project, you are implementing a digital health project,
Yeah.
you are supporting a digital. So you might not necessarily not search for that. So some might be program manager, project manager in so and so. So you just streamline to the IT, the information technology part of health. There are several roles out there, and it has been interesting so far, and it has even enhanced uh, my own knowledge, because I have to understand different kind of products, like know them fully and understand their functions. Because if you have a product now, when you're implementing it, you might actually not implement the whole functions of the product. You might be implementing it bit by bit.
Yeah.
And from there, you can actually even expand on the product. So it's a very wide field, and it is very interesting to do. So anyone that actually want to go into health informatics, you need little or no knowledge of coding at all. But
You get me,
it's when
right?
you want to do health data science, you actually need to know your Excel, your SQL, your Python, your Tabuli and Co. Because as a health data science, which is a little bit, let me say, the twin brother of health informatics.
Yeah.
You deal with maybe data management, database management, data analyst, information analyst. You analyze information because, like I said earlier, a whole lot of data and informations are being generated in the health field. So there are people that analyze all those
Yes.
data, and
Okay. Okay.
it's something you can do. Like if you have knowledge of SQL, Python, you need knowledge of maybe Tabuli or Power BI for your visualization. So you need all that. So you can still work as an in that line. So that would be majorly health data science. But at times you might actually find, because the roles, because like I said, they are like twin brothers, the roles might be interwoven in such a way that for you to get some roles, you might actually, apart from having project management knowledge, you might actually need to know how to some knowledge, I need some knowledge of SQL or Excel, because you might actually deal with data and you might actually need to analyze data, because all these health records too are also in form of data, and you might need to analyze, because in some health is a big business too,
Yes, it is.
because you analyze the business analysts to work. They have business analysts under I'm seeing some questions there.
Yes. I think
Okay.
one Dr. STM
Okay, so you
saying
actually, if you want to go more into health data science, because like I said, there are some roles that might require both, like you need you to have knowledge of both health informatics and health data science. It might not be full knowledge of data science, but like, okay, you need to analyze the data coming from the hospital. You need to visualize it so that it will be easily understandable for the management hierarchy, for them to plan what they want to do. So some roles will require you to have both knowledge
skill,
of both
knowledge
skills.
of
Yeah.
both. Okay.
So that's another aspect. So we might actually, maybe another time, we might actually delve more into
Into
that.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect.
So I think so. Dr. STM, she asked two questions. The first one is like, okay, she apologized. She's coming in late. What does your day-to-day activity look like, and what is the salary scale of a DIO?
Well, for the first question, my day-to-day activity, okay, like presently where I work, we have like 3 products, but majorly I'm focusing on a particular product. Okay, we have a product for prescribing, e-prescribing. Like, okay, there are some there are some box that are being constructed, like for you to manage your prescribing easily. Now, that's a product that's being implemented. Okay, my date. Let me just go based on what I do. Like, I've actually said this before.
Yeah.
The products I am implementing really is, there is a product whereby you can access patient's record, you can view their medical history, all their test record, medications, demographic, a whole lot of information are there. But a tiny bit of it is what I'm focusing on, is the test ETR, test request, electronic test request, whereby clinicians now is not only doctors. I mean, doctors, nurses, healthcare assistants, those that make requests, because that was why I said, like, it depends on the level of access you have. So the ETR now, like how they implement it, like moving from paper requesting of test on paper to electronic. So the part of the system now is where I'm implementing. So I I train clinicians on how to make use of the system. The system now, I mean the software, how to make use of it, putting them through like, okay, this is what is actually, this is, if you want to do this is what you need to do. Then I provide support to them. Maybe they are having challenges on what to do, or they have issues, or they are not really grasping what is required. So I provide support for them. Another thing I do is when they come across, because I've come to realize that clinicians, they want to face their work. Oh, my work is to consult patients, to see patients, to attend to them, to treat them. So they might actually, technology can fail at times. So all the technical aspect of it too, I make sure that whatever is might affect their workflow in terms of the ETR process. Like, okay, you make the request on the system, you need to print it. Is the printer connected? Do you have easy access to it? Are your login details working properly? Aside providing training and support, so I make sure that they have no cost like that will now draw back the implementation, because like I said, one of the challenges is staff resistance to change. So if they know that if they try to make a request now and it's not forthcoming, like they're having issues with the connection, they tend to like, oh, I just have to go do it the way we used to do things. So all the obstacles that might make them not want to use the product, I tend to put that away so that they have easy access to the product. So if they have issues, if there's something I can resolve on my own from my end, I resolve it for them. If it is something that needs to be fixed from the back end, you know, a system is designed such a way it has front end, back end.
On back end,
Those
yeah.
at the back end I might actually need to contact those at the back end to tell them like, oh, I think the product is having some issues that needs to be fixed, that they might actually fix from the backend. So basically that's my, aside some other functions, but basically that's my day-to-day activity. But for the salary scale, I would rather keep that because this is a public
No
public
problem.
space.
So this is Global Man. So he said, I don't know if my question was answered. My network was giving an issue. So yes, Global Man. So we're saying, well, there are a lot of project management, what do you call it now, certifications out there, Prince 2, PMP, Scrum, Agile, and the rest of them. So it basically depends on what your job is looking for or the industry specifics, really. Then you now decide for which one to go for. So I guess that answers that. Then he's asking, is there anywhere in Swansea one can apply for a hands-on project management certification? I don't know, Shittu, do you know anywhere?
Well, I think if you go online, you actually see a whole lot. I'm not actually sure, but I'm certain that wherever you are, a whole lot of companies now they do online service. You might actually not need to be there physically. I think it's a training you can actually do from the comfort of your house. I mean, the
Okay.
project management skills, you can actually do the training and the certification from wherever you are. I think COVID now has brought out a new dimension in doing things now. So you can actually do, if you go online, I'm sure you see a whole lot of where
All
you can
right, that's
do.
fine. Global Man, I guess so. You have to ask Uncle Google and you should have answers. So, Dr. STM here, she's saying the description where you mentioned an overlap of project management and data analysis stroke science skills. Is that still a role of a digital implementation officer or it's just a domain of health informatics?
Okay, like I think she came late. I mentioned it earlier, like a digital implementation officer might might not be a general job title, or it's not even a general top job title.
Job title,
It
yeah.
depends. Like different organization might give their job title different kind of job title, but it actually has to do with the job description. There are some job description that would be like it is only someone that has knowledge of health informatics that can actually do that. Like I said, health informatics, health data science, they are like twin brother. There are some roles that will pick from both ends, like your job description, your job role would fall under both, and there are some that it would extremely fall under health data science. I don't know if I'm communicating.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So there are some that will essentially fall under health data science. So it depends on the job the job role, the job specifications, because some organization might just want you to understand the products, like okay, be the person between the technical guys and the clinicians. Some might want you to be like, okay, we need the data that are being generated from our softwares. We need someone that will analyze it, that will visualize it for us, that that will make us understand what is actually coming out from it, so that we can. So it depends. It depends, and it's that was why it varies, because some roles you might not actually need to have any knowledge of data science. Some you might just need project management. Maybe you are just supporting different projects. So that was why I said whatever roles, but it's always good to have a little bit of knowledge of, because you don't actually need full data science knowledge like that if you want to work, but you need to have all these core skills of data analysis too, like SQL, Excel, um, Python to some extent, Tabuli, Power BI for your visualization.
Okay.
So it depends on if you sit down and understand what you want to do. If you want to be a full health informatician, like okay, I want to be handling projects, digital health projects. That is what I want to do. You don't actually need data analysis skills. But if you are someone that wants to really focus on um, data analysis, you need all those skills. But if you are someone that, okay, no matter the kind of project, I want to do this, I want to do that, you can actually pick from both ends. I don't know if I've answered your question like that.
STM, I hope he's answered your questions very well for you to grab. Global man, okay, Dr. STM said you can send her a message. She's PMP certified, so I think she might be able to help in terms of the project management certification thing and
Wow,
all.
that's good.
Yeah, so basically what I've gotten from you is I think it's the job description plays a huge role in determining maybe what kind of skills you need
You
per se.
need.
So it's not basically all about the title,
Yeah,
because some titles might have a bit of analysis inside. So you might be needing to be doing SQL, Excel, manipulation, and all of that. While some might just be pure, probably project implementation or support role, basically for the project to go live and all of that. So it really depends. So I think that is a very important distinction, because we need to always read the job description clearly before
very well.
applying for some of those roles. Okay, yes, he said question answer. Thank you. Totally dependent on the
On
job role
job description,
description. Yeah.
exactly.
So I think yeah, that's it. I don't know if there is any other question, because we'll be winding down in a couple of minutes. I don't know if any other questions online. I'm just trying to refresh. Let's see if there are any new questions. Let's see, refresh. I can't see any questions, so I guess people are fine with all the questions. So, Shittu, thank you so much for coming today to answer some of these questions and give some bit of insight as to what you do and what the whole process looks like. So, if you just came in late or you're just joining, I think the recording of this session will still be available. So, you could just always sit back and watch it. It's always be here. And I'll probably do a post about all the other possible options too in health informatics probably sometime this week, most likely on Friday. I'll do a video about the opportunities. So do well to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when I publish, you get notified. So on that note, thank you, Shittu. Any final word before we close?
Yeah, thank you for having me. And there are a lot of opportunities out there. You just need to do your research very well and know what you want and go for it.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. It's been a pleasure having you guys. Till I see you guys next week. Bye and have a wonderful week. That's and